the weight loss conversation inherently is flawed and is actually potentially keeping us sicker by having us focus on one tiny leaf on our health tree instead of going into the roots to see what's actually going on. And what that can lead to is, I'm sure we've all experienced, cycles of restriction and dieting. And this really is counterproductive to the metabolic health that you're craving. So I'm going to really break down for you why I do not coach on weight loss, why I encourage you to set health goals that have nothing to do with weight loss, and some alternative ways to look at feeling good in your body and what that journey could look like for you that takes the pressure off the scale. Hey mama, welcome back to the Thrive Mama podcast. I'm Martina, certified nutrition consultant and holistic health coach and a mama of two, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm here to help busy moms unlock their energy, balance their hormones, and break out of burnout using nutrition as a foundation. So on this podcast, we will dive into actionable strategies on nutrition, nervous system healing, and aligning with your cycles, all with a healthy dose of relatable motherhood thrown in, designed to help you move past surviving to actually thrive in motherhood. Let's do this. All right, before we jump into today's episode, I have one quick announcement for you, which is the doors to Thrive Mama are opening really soon. Thrive Mama is my signature 9-week group coaching program. This is my signature process to take us from depleted, exhausted, imbalanced, overwhelmed to a state of thriving vitality in motherhood, no matter what season you are in. And this is a group container. So we have beautiful sisterhood support. We have weekly coaching calls. You have an online portal full of resources. And we dive into nutrition, lifestyle, mindset, and nervous system work. This is a truly holistic view of your health and healing. Doors are opening really soon, and we only enroll in Thrive Mama a few times a year. But today, like right now as you're listening, discovery calls are open. And I really recommend a discovery call as the first step if you have any curiosity about what it would be like to work together more deeply. Discovery calls are not a sales call. They are just a casual time of connection for us to really get to know each other a little bit more, for you to share your goals, what you're looking for, and for us to sort of explore together if Thrive Mama could be a good fit for you. My only goal in those calls is really to get you clarity on if Thrive Mama is right for you. So if you have any curiosity or you're trying to decide if Thrive Mama is right for you, just let's hop on a call, let's chat, let's connect, and we will explore that together. Or if you know for sure that you are in this round, you can check out the link below this episode to see if doors are open yet. And if they're not, you can join the waitlist so you can hear right away when enrollment opens for that. So excited to welcome all the new mamas into this round of Thrive Mama. If you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram and I will see some of you in there. All right, Mama, today we are exploring a topic that I get a lot of questions about, and that is healthy weight loss or making sustainable weight loss goals. And what I'm not going to do in this episode is give you weight loss tips, but what I am going to do is tell you why, as a health and nutrition coach, I refuse to coach on weight loss. So if you popped into this episode looking for weight loss strategies, you're going to be disappointed. But I am going to, through this conversation, really offer you an alternative way to look at our weight and an invitation into looking at health from a different lens. I don't know about your algorithm or internet landscape, but I'm really feeling a resurgence of like skinny culture. I grew up in the 90s and the 2000s, and Lord knows that was a diet culture like cesspool of toxic messaging. And then I feel like we went through collectively a little bit of a swing to the other side. Health at every size had a moment as a movement. And there were a lot more body positive conversations and accounts and health conversations that were not focused on weight. And over the last year or so, I'm really feeling more focus coming back into weight as an indicator of health, or coaches specifically focusing on sustained weight loss as a goal. And it's not really surprising. I mean, in the US alone, the weight loss industry is like $300 million in 2024. The industry just focused on getting smaller in our bodies was about $300 billion. Now, if we were spending $300 billion on something that actually made people healthier, you would expect to see the rates of cardiovascular disease, cancer, high cholesterol, other degenerative diseases in our body go down, right? They're not. The exact opposite is happening. Every year we get sicker and sicker, and we're spending more and more money on targeted weight loss solutions. So, what I'm here to offer is that the weight loss conversation inherently is flawed and is actually potentially keeping us sicker by having us focus on one tiny leaf on our health tree instead of going into the roots to see what's actually going on. So, I'm going to really break down for you why I do not coach on weight loss, why I encourage you to set health goals that have nothing to do with weight loss, and some alternative ways to look at feeling good in your body and what that journey could look like for you that takes the pressure off the scale. I want to really, really normalize, like super duper normalize, this connection that a lot of us have formed between our weight and our health. It has come at us from like literally every expert. Every communication about how to be healthy is all centered around being a quote unquote healthy weight. There's BMI metrics that give you a label of health. And throughout our entire lives, decades, we have been conditioned to believe that the number on the scale is the key to being a healthier human. I cannot tell you how many clients I see who have been told by their doctors to lose weight as a solution to their problems. Like they go to the doctor with fatigue, which is like the number one reason for doctor's visits in the US. They go to their doctor with imbalanced hormones, with fertility issues, with migraines, whatever it is. The strategy handed to them by the conventional medical system is to lose weight as like the fix all. What we're not examining is how the root cause of those conditions and excess weight on the body are the same. And so by just focusing on artificially manipulating the number on the scale, we're missing the chance to heal at a deeper level. Plus, the inherent connection between smaller bodies being healthier bodies is just not true. Metabolic health is very real. Having healthy metabolisms and healthy functionings in our cells of how our cells make and use energy, that is super real and super important. But the size of our bodies does not immediately equate to healthy metabolisms. It just doesn't. And so this obsession that we have with judging the health of a person and of ourselves based on the aesthetics of our body or the size of our body is so incredibly flawed. And if we're being real, which I'm here to be real, this really is a weapon of the patriarchy. I truly, truly believe this. Keeping our bodies smaller and our focus completely obsessed inward on how we are flawed is a huge drain on our power and energy as women. We are serving no one in the world by being a smaller version of ourselves. Hard stop. We are serving the world by being the healthiest, most vibrant, balanced version of ourselves, but that does not equate to smaller. And so, this obsession, this constant conditioning that we get to be smaller in our bodies, is truly an effective weapon of patriarchal conditioning that is keeping us so focused on ourselves that we are really giving away our power to those who want it the most. And the truth is, women's bodies, biologically, physiologically, are not meant to operate or look the same as a male body. I work primarily with moms, right? And so we have a lot of conversations about changes in our bodies that happen after kids. And what I don't want to do throughout this entire episode is discredit your experience of feeling uncomfortable in your body. That is so real and it's so hard. And if you feel like you are walking around with extra weight, if you tend to feel sluggish and heavy and uncomfortable in your skin, and you attribute that to extra weight on your body, That is super real. And I'm not telling you that that's not worth exploring. But what I am saying, focusing on the number on the scale as the metric of how we feel in our body is flawed and is not going to serve your journey. So when I'm working with moms and we're in this bounce back culture after kids, or even like more holistically, if a mom is just really craving more vitality, more comfort in her body, feeling more at home in herself. And that's hard to do after kids when your body feels and looks so different. We always come back into how can we feel that way no matter what the number on the scale does. And it's always helpful to ground in like facts here, right? Like women's bodies, for one thing, we have a uterus, men don't. And our uterus is in our lower abdomen. It is a whole ass organ and it literally protrudes our belly, especially if you have had children and your uterus has expanded and then shrunk back down. So when we have this little lower belly pouch that women get really fixated on, trying to lose, trying to get the flat belly back, it's not like you have extra fat there. It's not that your health is flawed. You have a literal organ. And your uterus, I would argue, is an incredibly powerful and sacred organ that can grow life and is like a star portal to the universe. So, trying to shrink it down or fixate on this part of the body when it's actually just a physiological difference in how we are built is not super helpful. Women also have like 10% more body fat than men on purpose to respond to our hormones like estrogen that we need to reproduce, like literally to keep the human species alive. We have more body fat. So, this real fixation on getting smaller, leaner, less body fat may not actually be in the name of health a lot of the time. I am going to talk about what to do when it is in the name of health. And you know that your metabolism, your metabolic health is an area of concern. But what I wanted to talk about first is when the focus is on the how our body looks in on the outside, it really misses the deeper picture of what's happening inside. And what that can lead to is, I'm sure we've all experienced cycles of restriction and dieting. And this really is counterproductive to the metabolic health that you're craving. Like you want a healthy metabolism so that you can create energy, feel alive, feel balanced, feel vibrant. Your metabolic rate, the rate at which you use and produce energy, decreases when we are on a restrictive diet. So, all the weight loss advice out there that is like, just eat less calories than you're burning is incredibly flawed. First of all, that's not how weight loss works. Weight loss is a hormonal function of the body. So, it uses our hormones to communicate how much energy we need to use versus save. Okay. It's not a matter of eat less than you're burning. It's not like a math equation. It is actually a complex hormonal cascade. Okay. So just needed to get that straight. But when we are in the state of calorie deficit, which is typically the weight loss advice, your metabolic rate decreases to conserve energy. And maybe some of you have experienced this where you restrict calories and you lose weight for a little while and then you stop. You get that plateau after like 5 pounds, 10 pounds. And you get stuck there because your metabolic rate has now adjusted based on what's coming in. Your nervous system and your body are getting the message that, hey, there's less food out here. We're in a little bit of a famine out here, so we better conserve energy. We can't burn as bright and as hot as we were before. Your energy levels literally go down, and the rate at which you can burn energy goes down. So, restriction is keeping us more tired and is not ultimately causing us to lose the weight we may want to lose. We also tend to get in states of activation, stress, control around our body and around food. So, when we're in restrictive diet cycles or weight loss programs, we are so focused on the physical presentation of what our body looks like and this stress storm that comes up inside of us around what's on our plate, what's on the scale, too much, not enough, what's balancing out, counting, measuring everything. This is an activation in our nervous system. This is a stress response. And when we stress, we get stress hormones. When we have stress hormones, that impacts the hormonal cascade of weight loss. Okay? So when we are in a stress state, the body's not going to lose extra energy. The body's not going to let go of this stored energy in our fat cells because we're stressed. The body's like, we're in danger, y'all. We got to hold on to our resources just in case we need them to respond to the threat. So anything that is causing you extra stress is not helping any sort of balanced weight goals that you have. In fact, when we're on any sort of restrictive diet or intensive protocol, it is causing us more activation in the nervous system and halting the whole hormonal cascade that may actually result in balanced weight loss. And this is something that I have experienced personally. After the birth of my second daughter, I lost about 40 pounds in my body. And this was not an intentional weight loss journey, but I did have some extra weight on my body that I have carried all of my life due to genetic factors, due to past lifestyle practices, and due to the fact that up until this point, I was not addressing my stress. So just to put this in perspective, I was a nutrition coach. I was walking the walk. I was eating the way I was telling other people to eat. I was really committed to my holistic health and healing. I was moving my body. I was eating all of the right foods. And my body hung on to 40 pounds of extra weight for years. And I had done a lot of work around deconditioning and self-love and self-worth. And so this wasn't an area of focus for me. But it was something I was aware of, that as a nutrition coach, I was modeling that you can be healthy physiologically and hold extra weight. My lab work was always beautiful. My nutrition profile was gorgeous. My hormones looked great. And I was holding on to 40 extra pounds in my body. I also always had that little voice of self-judgment of who's going to take me seriously as a nutrition coach if my body is curvier and bigger. And that took a long time to deprogram and distance myself from, trusting that the medicine I have to offer is valuable no matter what my body looks like. But that's how deep this conditioning goes. It cuts so deep that we are afraid to speak our voice, to share our medicine, because people won't take us seriously. And the only reason my body shifted and let go of this extra weight is because of the nervous system. It's because 3 years into my nutrition coaching career, I finally faced my nervous system and healed my stress cycles. And when that happened, this weight fell off in a matter of months. It was incredibly insightful for me to see what happens when my body feels safe. This is the biggest piece of advice that I have for folks who do want to lose weight in a loving, intentional, sustainable way. Coming from a place of wanting to feel comfortable, connected to their body, we have to make your body feel safe. If your body does not feel safe, it is not letting go of a pound. Or if it does, it will get it back as quick as it can. Your body cannot feel safe on restriction, and your body cannot feel safe in stress cycles. Now, the reason that I don't weave all these things together in my practice and actually coach people on weight loss is because I really view extra weight on our body as a potential symptom, not a root cause. Let me say that again. Extra weight on our body is a potential symptom, not a root cause. As we've already talked about, extra weight on our body may not actually be a problem, period. For a lot of us, the goal weight in our brain is not actually the thriving weight of our body. We have this number stuck in our brain of what society tells us we should be at. That may not actually be where our body wants to live. It may not be the base point of thriving for us. So the first thing I always explore with folks is the weight you think a problem actually a problem? Is the weight that you think is a problem actually a problem? Sometimes the answer is no. The work is in the self-love, self-worth, deconditioning world. Sometimes, yes, the extra weight is a symptom of metabolic disruption. The extra weight is a symptom of blood sugar and stress cycles. The extra weight is keeping us feeling heavy and tired and disconnected, and that's real. And in those situations, there is a way to lovingly support our body to finding a balanced weight that is not restrictive and is not focused on the outward presentation. It's focused on how we feel. This is the biggest nugget I want you walking away with. It needs to be about how you feel, not about the number or what you look like. If you want to feel more vibrant and alive, focus on doing things that make you feel that way, and your weight will follow and naturally find a set point that it wants to be at in this season of your life. And so when we look at extra weight as a potential symptom, instead of just manipulating that factor and trying to change the number on the scale, we go into the root cause. What's causing this symptom? And typically it is blood sugar imbalances, metabolic imbalances, like in our cellular functioning, so sometimes from oxidative damage, sometimes from inflammation. Often it's a nervous system issue, stress cycles, keeping us packing on the extra weight for safety. If you think about the body, extra weight is a physical barrier to keep our vital organs safe. There is a reason your beautiful, wise body is holding on to weight. And it's not because you're broken and it's not because you're bad. It's because your body's keeping you safe. How beautiful is that? Your body is keeping you safe. And so if you can signal safety to the body through balanced, nourishing foods, healing your nervous system, healing your hormones, so the cascade of weight management, your metabolism can actually work, then this symptom can get balanced and resolved just like all the other symptoms of the thing. So just like if you come to me with a headache and I give you an aspirin, we might have dealt with the headache. We didn't deal with the dehydration that was causing the headache. So you're going to get another headache tomorrow and come back for an aspirin, and we're not dealing with what's causing the headache. So if you come to me looking to lose weight and we just focus on the weight, we're missing the root cause. We're missing what's at the core of the imbalance in your body, if there is one. Remember, there's not always one. So, my first invitation for you, if you are on a journey of trying to find more comfort, more connection, more confidence in your body, is first try to parse apart. Is this an issue of health balance? Or is this actually an issue of self-worth and self-love? And sometimes it's very challenging for us to be objective about this. There's so much wrapped into this. This is like the most powerful weapon the patriarchy has, is convincing us that we only are worthy of what we look like. It's incredibly flawed and limiting, and is just a weapon to keep us small. So, trying to break out of that paradigm takes a lot of support, a lot of healing, a lot of time. But trying to feel out for yourself, is this an issue of health imbalances or a deconditioning issue, or potentially some of both? And so, we do have in my programs, folks lose weight all the time because we're healing our hormones, we're healing our blood sugar, we're healing our nervous system. And all of those things support our metabolism. But I am very clear with people that I do not coach on weight loss. I do not guarantee weight loss. And I do not encourage you to look at weight loss as a metric of your progress or your wellness. We don't really measure weight throughout my programs. I do not ask you how much weight you've lost or gained because I don't care. What I care about is how you feel in your body and in your life. And what is most powerful about what I've seen through my work is that the thing you're craving in your body, confidence, connection, vitality, energy, you think you need to lose weight in order for that to happen. You don't. I have in every single program that I run, every single person is reporting more of those things, more vitality, connection, confidence, and sometimes their weight has not budged. And so this to me has been a really powerful example of how your weight and how you feel about your body are two totally different things. They truly, truly are. And the world has wrapped them all up together. So there's a lot. There's a lot that we can keep going with here. But I want to really just leave you with an invitation into gentle and loving curiosity around how you want to feel in your body. And just follow that. Follow that feeling. Make choices in your food, in your movement, in your lifestyle, and how you treat yourself that aligns with that feeling. And trust that your weight will balance out to follow if it needs to. It really, really will. And for me, I was on this healing journey for years before I finally found the missing piece that my body needed to rebalance. It really can take time. And if I had been focused on weight management for all of those years, my body would not have had the foundation of health to rebalance itself once I healed my nervous system. If I had been in restriction all those years trying to manipulate my weight, as I had done my entire teenage and young adult years, my hormones would really be showing it. My nutrient stores, my blood sugar, nothing would be in place to actually heal once my stress was addressed, right? Do you see how all this is connected? So just really inviting you into patience, into grace, into so much love and curiosity. And as you are seeking out health advice, because I know you value health, I know you're not just here for weight loss. I know that you are a person who values health for the sake of health. But I really want you to be aware of who you're trusting, who you're consuming content and information from, and make sure that they are someone who is informed and ethical around separating your weight with your health, because they are not the same thing. And as soon as your provider tells you that that is the key to getting better, please find a new provider. Please. Or at least find someone to add to your team who is going to give you legitimately helpful advice on rebalancing your body and healing from the root up instead of from the outside in. So this is a big one, and I'm so here for any questions, reflections, challenges, celebrations that you want to share with me. You can leave them below this episode. You can send me a DM on Instagram. I would love to hold space for processing all of this because it's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm really honored to have the space to connect in with you on a topic that's this important. So we'll keep this conversation going. But for today, I would love to leave you there. If you found this conversation valuable, please like, subscribe, share all of the things, help get this message into the hands of people who deserve to hear it. And make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any future episodes. And until we meet again, take beautiful care of yourself.